as I've been explaining, the Cosmic Intelligence Services are not aligned to any nation, though there are theories that the original Russians came from space. So it's all very interesting considering the experimentation with parapsychological phenomena and certain projects being operated by Russian military intelligence attempting to contact extraterrestrial sources. So it's all very interesting to consider that my network turned against the GIU because the GIU is too heavily coordinated by networks of neo-Nazi Satanists cooperating with the Aryan factions in Germany and the United Kingdom. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, these Aryan factions are based in Bavarian Illuminist tradition and operate various covens across Wiltshire, such as Order of Nine Angles covens that are given license to operate in Wiltshire by Philip Wilkinson, the Wiltshire Police Crime Commissioner. So it's very interesting to note exactly what is going on here in Wiltshire, what with the police running networks of neo-Nazi satanic child rapists, necrophiles and cannibals, operative to institute an Illuminist police state in the United Kingdom. So it's all very interesting to note exactly what is going on. Indeed, the British intelligence services experimented with extrasensory perception during the Cold War and after. Indeed, they have their own networks of psychics operating out of Thames House, i.e. the headquarters of MI5, just as the Russians have their own networks of psychics operating out of a crematorium in the suburbs of Moscow. So very interesting indeed. A lot of this is based in Nazi occult theories. However, there are genuine individuals who are interconnected with parapsychological phenomena that do not need to access it by occult means. This is collective cosmic consciousness. Indeed, the United States and Britain are attempting to tap into this potential and harness it for their agenda in a coming Cold War II scenario. Indeed, the Russians have their own networks of telepaths operating for the Kremlin. So very interesting to note, the Cosmic Intelligence Services are independent of either the Western Intelligence Services or the Eastern Bloc Intelligence Services. So it's all rather annoying that devises people and the general Wiltshire population keep accusing me of operating for the Russian Federation when I am not. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, as I stated before, Itzhak Bentov theorized that 20 to 30% of paranoid schizophrenics are of a higher status of evolution than the rest of society. And that's why we can't adapt to normal society functions. Indeed, we are special people operating our own agenda via collective consciousness and internal and external telepathy. So it's all very interesting to note. Indeed, Catty, my ex-girlfriend, who was a beautiful brunette Romanian feline, was killed by Grenville Lodge Freemasons when we were exposing the networks of the Hellfire clubs at Grenville Lodge in 2012. So it's all very interesting to know. I now suffer from severe retrograde amnesia due to experimentation and a forced semi-lobotomy by the professors of Grenville Lodge, who wish to basically curtail my abilities to expose the networks operating out of Grenville Lodge. Indeed, Grenville Lodge number 1787 in Buckingham is a police lodge. So it's all very interesting how all of this interconnects with my current exposures of British police fraternities. So it's all very interesting to note. Indeed, at one point in my life during 2013 and 2014, I was a mind-controlled assassin contracted by the GRU to take out several targets, which is very interesting. However, due to synthetic drug consumption, I started operating hits on my own targets also, which is all very interesting indeed. During the years 2013 and 2014, I was seen all over the Eastern Bloc, including in Romania, Moldova, the former Yugoslav territories, and many of the former Soviet territories. So it's all very interesting to consider indeed. I was operative for myself, but with license to kill by the GRU. So it was all very interesting to consider indeed. I'm hitman technically, so this is the thing. It switches on and off. So I have to be basically mind controlled into action to become a hitman again. So it's all very interesting to note indeed. I am an alien technically. I have been Cosmos programmed by British and Russian intelligence sources. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, I was also trained as a schizophrenic super spy. And I am technically a double agent. However, my loyalty is to the cosmic intelligence services, which makes me a triple agent. So it's all very interesting to consider indeed. Devices apparently having a nightmare now that it's revealed that I don't work for the Russian state. It's all very interesting indeed. They must have been stupid to have ever thought that I worked for the Russian state in the first place, because if I was operating for the Russian state, I'd have certain protections and I'd have been looked after by handlers. So it's all very interesting indeed. The British police are putting blockers through my camera, attempting to block out my connection with extrasensory phenomenon while I am making these videos. So it's all very interesting to consider that the British police are going to quite extreme lengths to basically silence me, and most of all silence Catty, who speaks to me in my head via cosmic consciousness. So it's all very interesting indeed. They know Catty is in my head, which could be dangerous for me, as they wish, via the Lighthouse network, to give me a full lobotomy, a full frontal lobotomy. So it's all very interesting to consider that the British police are currently operating under license of British royalty to give me a lobotomy basically via this network of the Order of Nine Angles, known as the Lighthouse, which is heavily interconnected with the Cemetery network of crypto hackers operating from under the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp in a series of labyrinthine vaults and tunnels there. Indeed, these people are graveyard worshippers and necrophiles, operative apparently for the Azov Battalion, which is all very interesting to consider. Indeed, the Azov Battalion have designated me a Russian spy, so it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, the Azov Battalion are aware of certain theories being circulated that the Russians are space aliens and are indeed looking to the West for protection from a space alien network that may be able to infiltrate and fuck up their network's plans. So it's all very interesting to note. However, I stated, we are the cosmic intelligence services. We are not aligned to the Russian state. Indeed, Russian state propaganda is churning out information regarding dodgy sexual practices among the Western elites. Indeed, what's interesting about this is that it is true. So, it's all very interesting to note. The royal family are very similar to Devise's people in terms of their behaviors and practices, i.e., ritual sacrifice, the rape, murder, and torture of babies, necrophilia, and cannibalism. These are all common concepts among the royal family, just as they are common concepts among the Devises people. So it's all interesting how this interlinks. Indeed, a network in Warminster, i.e., Azov Battalion connected squaddies, are threatening to sue me for libel. It's all very interesting indeed. It costs a lot to bring about a libel case, and indeed, a judge, whether Masonic or not, would probably laugh the case out of a courtroom because you can tell I'm fucking crazy. So it's all very interesting the lengths that Wiltshire residents are prepared to go to attempt to scrub me from the internet and basically shut down my operations before I start communicating with local felines. So it's all very interesting indeed. The population of Wiltshire are scared of local felines picking up on my theories and attacking the police, basically. Indeed, this would be a very interesting scenario. Indeed, Warminster police are terrified of the prospect of me communicating my theories to local felines. Indeed, felines are impressionable. This is the thing. Indeed, they're probably not ready for my theories yet. However, when they would be ready, they'd have been destroyed by dick and degradation. So it's best to start communicating my theories to the local felines, which is what Warminster police are absolutely terrified of. So it's all very interesting to consider, really. Indeed, this network of Azov Battalion operatives, the cemetery networks, and the Order of Nine Angles, the Lighthouse network, are operative for Banderist factions within Ukrainian intelligence that wish to cast me to the public in Ukraine as a mass murderer. However, my killings were legitimized by GRU license, so it's all very interesting to consider. And indeed, also, I suffer from retrograde amnesia, i.e., I forget past memories due to memory blockages, ritual abuse, and trauma. So it's all very interesting. Also, I have a tendency to dissociate. Indeed, when I committed the killings in Chechnya, Vladikavkaz, Romania, Moldova, and Macedonia, I was dissociative. So it's all very interesting to note. Indeed, vermin, i.e., PC Joseph Lynch advises police whose real name is Warren Grimes and is known to townsfolk as Cass Lynch or Cassius Lynch, is operative for a network of Azov Battalion operatives operating out of Swindon, who are Satanists and neo-Nazis who ritually abuse and torture children with license from the British Crown. Indeed, vermin is operative to destroy me for insulting the Azov Battalion, which is not technically a recruit of, which is all very interesting indeed. Ukrainian intelligence services are thinking of organizing a hit squad of me in Warminster because they theorize that I am too close to a military base and may give secrets about the British military's interconnectivity with the Ukrainian nationalists to the Russians. Indeed, this is not actually an intention of mine. As I've stated, I do not work for the Russian Federation. I operate for the Cosmic Intelligence Services, though I lean in sympathy towards highly intelligent Russians, i.e. Slavs, and highly intelligent Russian Hebrews, i.e. Jews. So very interesting to note. I have no loyalty to Aryans at all. So it's interesting that Ukrainians, being half Slavic, half Aryan, are choosing to operate for the Aryan Temple, i.e. networks of Banderists, Stetskovites, and Melnikites operating to destroy extraterrestrial cosmic intelligence, basically. Indeed, it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, the former communist nations were known for parapsychological experimentation and the creation of networks of schizophrenic aliens. Indeed, these networks of schizophrenic aliens are now operating solely for the schizophrenic aliens. Indeed, a collective cosmic intelligence. Indeed, we are parapsychotic schizophrenic intelligence operatives operating for another sphere rather than any terrestrial entity on this earth. And indeed, vermin cannot decide what to think of this theory. Indeed, he has heard from his Azov Battalion so-called mates that the Russians have been carrying out top secret experiments for the creation of schizophrenic super spy aliens, which will then flood the West and destroy Western infrastructure through telepathy. Indeed, it's all very interesting to consider what is going on. Indeed, I am rogue technically from the Russian intelligence services. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, I have no loyalty to the British intelligence services at all, although I went through a certain amount of programming from them to basically set me up as a schizophrenic super spy operating for the British. However, I believe that Russian intelligence is the lesser of the two evils in this grand conflict, i.e. the Cold War II situation. However, I have no alignment to the Russian state at all. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, Banderists want me dead for exposing the fact they are operating a depopulation agenda in eastern Ukraine to repopulate the area with Zionist Aryan Khazars who are not Hebrew or Slav. So it's all very interesting indeed. The Slavs are the people of the cross technically and were among the original followers of Jesus Christ. So it's all very interesting to note. Indeed, the Slavs are a very special species with extraterrestrial heritage. And this is what scares the Aryans, who supposedly came from underground. So it's all very interesting indeed. It's interesting to consider how much the Aryans enjoy their subterranean labyrinthine chambers and vaults, and how much they love to richly sacrifice highly intelligent Slavs and highly intelligent Hebrew commoners. Indeed, it's all very interesting how the Aryans operate. Indeed, the Bavarian Illuminists hired several Hebrew magicians known as Sabbateans, who they then corrupted and brought into their networks. Indeed, it's all very interesting to consider this, that the Sabbateans were originally racial Hebrews, but were corrupted by Aryan networks, basically forced to become a Satanist entity operating for the Aryan temple. Indeed, many Khazar Zionists are themselves Aryan. There are networks of Hebrew magicians known as Sabbateans who are Satanists who have been forced into the Nazi agenda, basically. Indeed, it's all very interesting to consider how this is going to come down. This is basically a cosmic conflict between cosmic consciousness and subterranean Aryanism. So it's all very interesting to note. Indeed, devises people tend to spend a lot of time underground, raping children, and richly sacrificing cosmic consciousness collected mental patients for the glory of their subterranean tomb. So it's all very interesting to note. Indeed, the majority of activities that I talk about in regards to Devices Police and the British Royals take place underground. Indeed, it's all very interesting to consider that the cemetery network operate from a disused vault system beneath Bergen-Belsen concentration camp. Indeed, this is ritual Nazi fetishism at its most obvious, which is really quite disturbing. Indeed, these cemetery network guys operate their own networks of crypto hackers, basically almost disabled the majority of functions on my internet. However, they don't seem to be able to take off YouTube. So it's all very interesting to consider indeed. Banderas networks are not very popular in Poland due to the Volyn genocide during the Second World War, and indeed they were renowned for their cruelty. Indeed, Ukrainian half-Aryans are notorious for their savagery, which is built into their mindset through networks operating for Western intelligence, i.e. Azov Battalion networks and their interconnectivity with Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst operations, which links us directly back to the Bavarian Illuminati once again. Indeed, it's all very interesting to consider how all of this is a Bavarian Illuminist conspiracy theory as delineated by John Robeson in his Proofs of a Conspiracy. However, it's a bit more complex than that, especially considering the interconnectivity between the Bavarian Illuminati and British Freemasonry, which Robeson denies. However, there are so many interconnecting networks there. Indeed, the real mission of the Bavarian Illuminati is to wipe out extraterrestrial people, i.e. people like myself, and the 20 to 30% of mental patients in contact with cosmic consciousness who are at a higher level of evolution than the Aryans. Indeed, they also wish to wipe out Russian populations and Hebrew populations in a grand sacrifice ceremony, much of which is being initiated in eastern Ukraine by networks such as the Azov Battalion Indeed, it's all very interesting to consider. Vermin feels a connection to the Azov battalion because he knows they rape children, which is all very interesting indeed. He's also rather turned on by the fact that the Azov battalion are heavily interconnected with organ harvesting in the Donetsk basin, in communion with Albanian mobsters, which links the Albanian mob and the Azov battalion to the deviser's organ harvesting ring. Indeed, it seems the majority of people trafficked and tortured and ritually abused, killed, and having their organs harvested are of Russian origin, usually extraterrestrial percentages within the Russian population. So it's all very interesting to note how this deviser's ring has operated this huge ritual slaughter network for hundreds of years. So it's all really quite disturbing to consider. Sorry. See, the deviser's police wish to shut me down before Russian intelligence noticed my YouTube. However, Russian intelligence noticed my original YouTube under the Willow Gromov name. So it's a little bit late for that indeed. I am considered a resource by various intelligence networks. So still very interesting to consider indeed. As I've stated, my loyalty is to the cosmic intelligence services, networks of extraterrestrial Russians, not Putin's boys, who are grounded in their fascination with Stalin, which is worrying these Stalinist currents within the Russian society. Indeed, these currents are hero worshipping a Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst agent who was operative for the Aryan temple. There are also theories that Joseph Stalin was a Sabbatean, and his KGB chief, Lavrenti Beria, was certainly a Sabbatean and operative of the Abwehr and later the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst, thus a Bavarian Illuminist. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, Dugin, the head of the SVR, is operative for Sabbatean Continuums interconnected with DVD operations. So it's all very interesting to note how Russian intelligence is dominated by DVD assets. Indeed, it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, as I stated before, Dugin has a very heavy connection with Troy Southgate, i.e. the DVD operative who is also a British MI5 security services specialist and Freemason of a London lodge, i.e. Montezuma Lodge. So it's all very interesting to consider. Troy Southgate has some Soviet tendencies in his philosophies, i.e. the idea of the use of collective farms. However, he is utilizing this for a British Nazi agenda, operating with the Colin Jordan continuum networks of the British National Party, which is all very interesting indeed. He wishes to create a distributist dystopia, which will itself be actually a Nazi police state, operative for the destruction of people like me, which is all very interesting indeed. He's an absolute prick, Troy Southgate, so it's all very interesting to consider indeed. I believe I caused a lot of concern in the national anarchist movement during my time of being manipulated by Nazi sorcerers online and in mind control programming sessions. So indeed, Troy Southgate believed I was a Russian of some sort, which is all very interesting indeed. All of this is coming down to the fact that Devizes police are operating an enormous organ harvesting operation and wish to keep it secret, and are basically prepared to convert to Islam. It's interesting that Devizes don't actually care about Britain. They simply only care about child rape and child prostitution, the harvesting of organs, and the trafficking of young girls for their village ceremonies. So it's all very interesting to consider that Devizes will go with any entity that is prepared to destroy me. Yet, as I've stated, all of the Faith of Ishmael networks are coordinated in jihad by DVD operatives. Indeed, as I've stated, the modern concept of jihad was formed and formulated by Prussian and later German intelligence services in the Middle East during the 1800s, which directly interconnects with British agendas and the utilization of Wahhabis by the British Crown over the years through the Ismaili assassin network of the Aga. So it's all very interesting how all of this connects and how all of this links up to what is going on in the world at the moment. Indeed, basically, the idea in Britain is the construction of Aryan temples for ritual sacrifice, and indeed, the commoners are to be enslaved by a technocracy rooted in original Bavarian Illuminist thought. Indeed, the Bavarian Illuminists were not free thinkers. They were technocrats, proto-Nazi technocrats. Indeed, the symbolism of the Bavarian Illuminati is all over the Third Reich. So, it's all very interesting to consider the Bavarian Illuminati are the network I pinpointed as being the overarching conspirators in this agenda, and they have infiltrated every Masonic lodge since 1776. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, all British Masonic lodges are Illuminized. The Hellfire clubs are Illuminized, and the DVD, i.e. the Pan-German intelligence services wishing to construct the Aryan Temple, have complete domination over British intelligence through an arcane secret society known as the Asiatic Brethren, which is a cross-trend of Martinism, Rosicrucianism, German Masonic orders, Bavarian Illuminist tradition, and most importantly, Frankism, i.e. a network connected to Hebrew apostates who are operating as a satanic ritual sacrifice circuit for the British Illuminati and the German Illuminati. So it's all very interesting to consider the fact that British intelligence created Sabbateanism via corruption of Hebrews and creating a network of apostate Hebrews that then link up with Khazar Aryan Zionist elites and Fourth Reich agenda networks for the construction of Aryan temple networks across Europe, Britain, America, and the Russian Federation in the overarching agenda of the Aryan faction. Indeed, this will usher in the new eon as prescribed by the Order of Nine Angles and the coming age of Thelema as prescribed by the Ordo Templi Orientis. Indeed, all of these networks are interlinking Pan-German Teutonic intelligence services, attempting to erase extraterrestrials in connection with cosmic consciousness, i.e. parapsychotic schizophrenics, Slavs and Hebrews, from the face of the planet. Indeed, this is basically for the greater glory of the Vril, i.e. the subterraneans that spawn the Aryans, basically. So it's all very interesting to note how this is all coming down and what this means for the future in the United Kingdom. Indeed, as I stated, the Russian intelligence services are quite happy with the fact that I've exposed the fact that there's going to be a civil war in the United Kingdom, as indeed the Russian intelligence services do not want this necessarily to work out as British intelligence have planned. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, the organ traffic from devices is set to become a key factor in the future of the United Kingdom. Indeed, the exposure of the organ trafficking devices could lead to disturbances that could be utilized by Russian intelligence. However, it would not lead to a direct civil confrontation as the British intelligence wished. So, in a sense, I basically messed up the plans of British intelligence for a direct left-right conflict, as now both the left and the right are more committed to destroying me than each other, which is all very interesting to consider. Indeed, as I stated, hippies are actually Satanists, operative for various neo-Nazi satanic covens and Druid orders. So it's all very interesting to note the Druids are Nazis. Indeed, they are Gaelic Aryan Nazis, operative to destroy the extraterrestrials, i.e. the cosmic intelligence services. Indeed, well, this is coming down to the fact that I am in connection with extrasensory phenomena, and the Druid cannot attain this cosmic consciousness connection. And therefore, they sacrifice people, read their entrails, have sex with their entrails and their dead bodies, attempting to harness cosmic consciousness, but they cannot do it because they are grounded in subterranean energies, i.e. the energies of the Vril. That's all very interesting to consider this. Indeed, the Order of Nine Angles are petrified of Russian Slavs, which is why they initiate Gladio 4 projects such as the Maniac Murder Cult to attempt to ground people in satanic energy. Indeed, Ilya once told me that the Russian Slavs were extraterrestrials, and I'm beginning to realize why. Though Putin's boys are grounded in energies connected to basically building their own fortunes, so they're addicted to mammon and therefore cannot open up their extraterrestrial portals, which is all very interesting to consider. Indeed, the Shambhala, i.e. the Nazi network operating out of Tibet, are operative to destroy the Russian Federation's population, utilizing the Chinese army. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, I delineated the possibility of this situation arising in previous videos. Indeed, China is very much a laboratory operating for the Shambhala, i.e. the Nazi Aryan networks operating out of Tibet. Indeed, it's all very interesting to consider how this is coming down. Indeed, the DVD have a monopoly over both Western and Russian intelligence services, attempting to spark a Cold War II conflagration whereby a new arms race will begin and a hybrid war of another scale will occur, complete with some sort of UK civil rights movement, benefiting Faith of Ishmael populations, which is all part of the DVD overall agenda to destabilize population bases. So it's all very interesting to note the possibilities. Indeed, it's all very strange to analyze all of these networks and operations and exactly what is going on in the United Kingdom. Because despite my cosmic powers, cannot work out everything. This is the thing, there are limits to cosmic consciousness within one individual. Indeed, I'm not entirely psychic, although many devices people believe I am. I'm not entirely psychic, this is the thing. However, I am an operative. I'm a parapsychotic operative of the Cosmic Intelligence Services, i.e. I represent a schizophrenic current and schizophrenic tradition interlinking with extrasensory phenomenon. So it's all very interesting to note exactly what is going to come down here in Warminster and how I intend to connect with local felines, utilizing extrasensory phenomena. So it's all very interesting, the fact that British intelligence are afraid of me, as are the US intelligence. Indeed, the CIA are absolutely terrified of me. Indeed, they refer to me as a really evil Russian that they are scared of. Indeed, it's all very interesting to consider this. Indeed, the CIA are attempting to organize a hit squad against me in Warminster, consisting of squaddies and Azov battalion operatives. However, this may happen, but it may not. So we'll see what happens. Indeed, the CIA are utilizing satellite technology against me via their interconnectivity with Warminster military base. So it's all very interesting to consider. What do they not want me to know about Warminster military base? Indeed, Warminster military base is a ritual programming and torture center, operating schemes to destroy Russian schizophrenic Slavs. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, we are in an end of days scenario whereby the Vril, i.e. the subterranean energy, wishes to wipe extraterrestrial sources from the face of the planet in a new Holocaust, i.e. a burnt offering to the Germanic, Gaelic and Khazar demon gods. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, I'm going to leave it there now.